Hey guys, welcome back. This is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Sorry it's been such a long wait in between videos, but obviously they had a new supplement come out, so I wanted to make sure I gave that time to come out so we all knew the new rules, and now we can go forward unit by unit and how I believe they will work in 9th edition. And I wanted to start with the Great Wolf himself, the High King, Logan Grimnar, Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him. He's got new stats. He's kind of seems like he's been rebuilt from the ground up. So I'm very excited to go through the two different versions you can bring, one on foot and one in the Santa sleigh. And I'll do each one and how I believe he can be used going forward. I personally am going to purchase the model. I think it's time. I think it's time to have the Great King leading his units. So we're going to go through fluff. We're going to go through stats, stratagems, tactics, anything we can think of with this old grizzled war vet, the king himself. So settle in, grab your beer and pretzels, relax, grab your models and paintbrush if you do that while listening, and let's dig in. Here we go. Logan Grimnar, the Great Wolf. A warrior born, Logan fought his way through the ranks of the Space Wolves under the watchful eye of Ulrich the Slayer. Despite the fact that Logan is one of the longest serving chapter masters in the Imperium, to this day Ulrich calls him Young Grimnar, and it is a sign of his friendly demeanor and respect for his mentor that Logan allows this to pass without comment. Unlike the stoic and formal lords of some chapters, Logan is charismatic and likable in the extreme, as apt to reward his men with a hearty slap on the back and a tankard of Fenrisian mead as with an official commendation. The king of Fenris respects those who fight, drink, and eat with him, and few besides. Logan's leadership of the Space Wolves has endured for over 500 years. During that time, the Old Wolf has led his chapter to victories beyond counting against tyrants and terrors alike, humbling the warlords of chaos and pushing back the omnipresent alien that gnaws at the edges of humanity's domain. When written in full, Logan's saga stretches from one side of the Great Hall to the other, for the Old Wolf hunts evil wherever he finds it, and without hesitation. Though some cynics doubt the factual validity of many of the Fenrisian sagas, believing them riddled with hyperbole, none can deny that during his reign as Great Wolf, Logan Grimnar has been instrumental in some of the greatest imperial victories of the 41st millennium. The first war for Armageddon would likely have ended in disaster had not Logan led his men to the planet's defense. Despite only recently having risen to leadership of the chapter, Logan led a campaign that ultimately saw the defeat of the World Eaters Legion and their demonic primarch Angron. At the height of the conflict, Grimnar slew a mighty lord of the World Eaters in personal combat, claiming the fallen champion's baleful axe as a token of his victory. The fabled Axe of Morkai was forged from this very same weapon. Clad in his ornate Terminator armor, Grimnar towers over all save his mighty champion Arjak. His beard is long and his fangs full, yet age has not made him wary. Logan's armor is wreathed with the pelt of the infamous Thunderwolf Fellclaw, its gilded skull acting as a crown above his head. Fellclaw once terrorized the northern plains of Azaheim, which lie in the shadow of Fangard Mountain. Logan took it upon himself to track the deadly creature to its lair. Alone, naked, and unarmed, Logan fought his quarry on even terms, eventually biting out the Thunderwolf's throat with his fangs after a hard-fought struggle. Seeking shelter from a fierce ice storm, Logan entered the beast's lair and found two lone wolf cubs. It was clear the Fellclaw's ferocity had, in part, been due to paternal instinct to protect its young. Unwilling to leave them to their fate, Logan gathered up the young cubs in Fellclaw's pelt and returned to the Fang. The pair eventually grew into powerful thunderwolves and have remained fiercely loyal to their master for more than 500 years. When Grimnar rides to battle in the war chariot Storm Rider, it is these beasts that draw the Fenrisian relic. Though Logan has won countless victories, it's not just against the enemies of the Imperium that has waged his wars. He has willingly led his forces into battle against Imperium institutions whose actions he deemed threatening to the Space Wolves or the civilization of worlds he has saved. This has led many accusations of rebellion, heresy, and treason being leveled at Logan and his chapter, along with the usual rumors of genetic deviancy. However, the fact the Old Wolf is so ready to meet his detractors on the field of battle is undeniably one of the reasons why these allegations are not taken further. The senior adepts of the Administratum know from experience that it is better to have the Space Wolves as allies than enemies. Nevertheless, no matter how unorthodox his methods, Logan Grimnar is one of humanity's greatest commanders and a true hero of the Imperium. In all his years, Logan Grimnar has never been tested, as he has since the opening of the Great Rift. The warp storms make a nightmare of travel and communications, with more pleas for aid coming every day that can possibly be helped. Additionally, it has taken all of Logan's leadership efforts to ensure the new Primaris Marines have been able to integrate into the tight-knit brotherhoods. It is a relief to the Great Wolf when he can take to the field of battle himself, exercising his frustrations upon the foes that beset the Imperium. So Logan is actually a very unique model in that you can field him on foot or in his sleigh, which technically gives him the vehicle keyword. So we're going to go through each one. So first of all, on foot is 8 power level and 155 points. He's in Terminator armor. He has movement 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 7, so that's pretty good, attacks 5, leadership 9, save 2+. He has a storm bolter, so we already know what that does. And then we have the Axe of Mordecai, and you can handle this one-handed or two-handed, so you get to choose. One-handed is melee strength +2, so strength 6, AP -3, damage 1, but each time you make an attack with this weapon, you make 2 hits instead of 1. So he's got 5 attacks, 6 because he's a Space Marine. And then if you do wield it one-handed, it's 12 attacks. So 12 attacks hitting on 2s at strength 6 -3. It's pretty good. Pretty good for clearing hordes. That's pretty nice. Anytime you have 12 attacks at -3 AP, can cut through a lot of objective holders. If you really just need those 10 guardsmen off of objective, send him in. He should do work. Hitting on 2s, killing on 2s. You got something a little stronger you need to kill. The Axe of Mordecai two-handed is strength ×2, so strength 8, AP -3, flat 3, and it doesn't have the -1 to hit that you would expect for those type of stats. So very powerful. You're talking about 6 attacks at strength 8, -3, flat 3. Now we're talking. That's real strong. That's real good. He didn't used to be that strong, so that makes me very happy. So he has a Belt of Russ, or a 4+ invulnerable save. He is a Chapter Master. In your command phase, select one friendly Space Wolf core or Space Wolf's character unit within 6 inches of this model. Till the start of your next command phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. So that's very good. Yeah, I think sometimes you're going to be giving it to yourself because it says core or character, because his Rites of Battle aura is just core, not characters, for the reroll 1. So if you want him to reroll at all, you're going to need to give that to himself. So he has the High King of Fenris. If this model is your warlord, it's treated as having completed the deed associated with the warlord trait. This one's a little tricky because as far as I'm reading it, he gets +3 inches to his auras. So he's got a 9-inch aura. And because it counts as the deed having been associated and completed, it means other people near him, their auras will gain 3 inches. So it really expects you to castle up, which some people love castling up, and that's their playstyle. And I'm sure there are ways you could take advantage of this. I personally don't think it's the greatest, but having a 9-inch Rites of Battle reroll 1, pretty good. We'll take it. Savage Fury, the normal Space Wolf, while the Assault Doctrine is active, unmodified hit rolls of 6 or 2 hits. So that's pretty great. And then you have Teleport Strike because he's in Terminator armor. So that's him on foot. He is effectively 155 point Chapter Master in Terminator armor with a nasty weapon and a 9-inch aura. So take it or leave it. That's pretty good. 155 points is not going to ruin your list. It's not too expensive. I do want to take a look at him on the sleigh, though, because that's the one that really interests me. So let's take a look at it. First off, it's 9 power level, so it's 1 power level more, and it's 180 points. So literally only 25 points more. You can take him on the sleigh. So he has his Aura of Majesty Warlord trait, Belt of Russ, Chapter Master, High King of Fenris. He's got the Rites of Battle. He's got Savage Fury. But he also gains Swift Hunters. So what makes Swift Hunters so good, and this goes with any kind of Fenrisian wolves or Thunder Wolves, is that you can advance and charge. So, and each time In addition, each time this unit makes a pile-in move or consolidate move, models in this unit can move an addition of 1. Wow. Okay, so he's piling in and consolidating 4 inches, and he can advance and charge, and his movement is 10. 10's not the fastest, but Thunderwolves move 10. That's kind of their thing. That can bracket, though, from 10 down to 7 down to 4 inches at the end. So his stat line, movement 10, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, toughness 6, wounds 14, attacks 5, leadership 9, save 2+. He's got the same Stormbolter and the same axe as before, but now he also adds the flurry of teeth and claws attack, which is melee, strength +1, so strength 5, AP -2, damage 1. But each time this bear fights, it makes 6 additional attacks with this weapon. So you get his normal axe, which is really good, and then you get 6 more attacks at strength 5, AP -2. So the other really good thing about this is that it turns him into cavalry keyword, and there's a few ways I'm pretty sure that you can take advantage of this. Basically, any of the stratagems or warlord traits that affect cavalry, Thunderwolf, Fenrisian Wolf. I'm pretty sure he has all those keywords. Let's see, going through the keywords. So Stardies, character, HQ, Logan Grimnar, Space Wolf, Wolf Lord, vehicle, Storm Rider, Imperium, cavalry, and warlord. Okay, so he's a vehicle and cavalry. So because he's a vehicle, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use the 5 up against mortal wounds armor of contempt, if that's still a stratagem. I'll look into that in just a second. I gotta flip to that page. I think this is way better. He's only 25 points more, and he gains so much, notably advance and charge. Now, you can't hide him like you can other characters because he has 14 wounds, but he also has T6, 14 wounds with a 2+ save, 4+ invul. So this is actually a really beefy tank. Just imagine a tank, it's only T6, but imagine a tank with 14 wounds and a 2-up, 4-up. I mean, it's pretty beefy. You can find uses for him. He's only 180. He hits like a beast. He can advance and charge. So let's take a look at some stratagems in order to best use Logan Grimnar. So I'm going to go through some generic Space Marine Chapter 1s, and then we'll go through the Space Wolf exclusives that he could use. First of all, only in death does duty end. 2 CP. When one of your characters who hasn't fought yet dies, you can shoot or fight again. Pretty great. So it used to be you can always just fight when you die. Now it's only if you haven't had a chance to fight yet. Either way, it makes it so that you can charge with 2 strong characters or units and not have to worry about the opponent jumping in, so you only get to fight with 1. If the opponent jumps in and kills Logan, he can still fight before he dies. Pretty great. It's only 2 CP. Definitely keep that in your back pocket. It won't get you out of any jams because Logan's still going to die, but it can help you go from losing the objective to also killing your opponent so that neither of you have the objective. Things like that. Let's take a look at some more. Okay, yeah, so Armor of Contempt does work. When one of your vehicles takes a mortal wound, for the rest of the phase, you get a 5+ to ignore mortal wounds. Because he has the vehicle keyword, this is all fine. Next is Power the Machine Spirit for 2 CP. Select a vehicle during the command phase until the start of your next command phase. It acts as if it's at full wounds. So you're starting to see where, because he's cavalry and vehicle, he gets to use a ton of different stratagems. So it actually, you can make sure he's always at full. You can give him a 5 up against mortal wounds. You can make him fight even when he dies. A lot of good stuff here. Let's take a look at the Space Wolf exclusives. So the first one I see where you can take advantage of his cavalry keyword is Pack Hunters, 1 CP. During the charge phase, pick an enemy currently engaged with a Space Wolf unit. Space Wolf Cavalry and Space Wolf Beasts will roll 3d6 and drop 1 when charging that enemy. And they reroll their teeth and claw attacks against them. So if he needs to come rescue a unit, basically, he'll get to advance and charge and roll 3d6 and drop the lowest. So he gets there. And then his little 6 attacks get to reroll their teeth and claw rerolls to hit. So that's not bad. So next we have Bestial Nature, 1 CP. In the command phase, a Space Wolf infantry, cavalry, or bike unit is treated as being in the assault phase. So if you really want those exploding 6s, you just do it turn 1, Turn 2, whenever you can, Bestial Nature, 1 CP. And since he has Cavalry keyword, it works. Next, you have Keen Senses. That's for any unit, but basically you suffer no penalties. So if you're fighting people that have -1 to hit in combat, I think there's some Slanesh units like Keeper of Secrets that are -1 to hit. You could pop this 1 CP and ignore modifiers. So that's pretty helpful. So clearly you have two very different play styles. You have one that's a Terminator that deep strikes in with all your Wolf Guard Terminators or Wolf Guard veterans and give them their rerolls and help on a flank or in the backfield somewhere. And then you have the very ultra aggressive Thunderwolf Santa Chariot of Doom with 10-inch movement, advance and charge, spin a CP to have 3d6 drop the lowest. I mean, he can utilize a lot more stratagems as the Chariot version. So how would I use him? Basically, I basically have two armies in my Space Wolves. One is pure Dreadnoughts, which is a ton of fun and much higher tier. It's more of a tournament type list. It's not the friendliest list. And then, especially now that they're all -1 damage. And then I have one that utilizes 30 Assault Intercessors and several characters for buffing, like Psychers and, Litanies and the guy that makes you fight last. I got all that type of stuff with that second army, all converted up to look very wolfy. It's not painted yet, so unfortunately it's not on the channel yet. Until then, we'll keep running the Dreadnoughts. And I think either way, I would run the Chariot version. I know it's a little wild, but when I get the model, I intend on magnetizing him to it so that he can still have a base and be on foot if I want to run him that way, because the model looks incredible. The model of him specifically. We'll get to the Chariot in a minute and how it looks. So the nice thing about him being on the Chariot is that since you can't hide him, you look for buildings to hide him, things like that, but you kind of just run him out front. With 14 wounds, T6, and a 2-up, 4-up, he's actually very beefy. He has ways to stop mortal wounds, as we already went over. He can be healed by apothecary type characters. He's actually really nasty, and if he's surrounded by big, powerful dreadnoughts, they may not shoot him anyway. And, he could run in and just handle a tank by himself or an enemy character or monster. Yeah, I think I'd go hard on a flank with him in my army and just let him be a hero on his own. He doesn't need help. The main force of my army would still have Bjorn or Ragnar to lead that. But I think it would be really fun to have this little cruise missile, this little Chariot just flying up a flank ready to hit. I know I'm not using his 9-inch bubble very well or his Chapter Master bonus, but honestly, he'll just give it to himself. It's fine. He can give his Chapter Master bonus to a fellow core Dreadnought, like a Redemptor Dreadnought, so that I can reroll all that DACA while we're moving up the field, so that'll be super handy. Yeah, I would just go fast and loose with him. I mean, yes, the first couple turns, or even just the first turn, you want him near the Dreadnoughts to give that, or strong core shooting unit to give out that reroll. But once you get to combat, you might as well just buff yourself and go in hard. I mean, 12 attacks at -3 is no joke. And if that's against hordes and against other characters, he's still a 6 attacks, strength 8, -3, flat 3. So this guy's actually going to be very, very dangerous for only 180. I mean, that's the price of a Redemptor. I already bring 3 of those, so I can fit him in there somewhere. Now that the Leviathan has taken a huge, I wouldn't say nerf, but it's not near as god tier powerful. I may drop the Leviathan, and with the points I have, bring Logan, and a bunch more Fenrisian wolves, and that'll just be a ton of fun. I might even be able to bring Logan and some Thunderwolves for the price of the Leviathan and maybe another Dreadnought. So that'd be a lot of fun going up a flank. Let's take a look at the model and discuss this. All right, let's really look at this. So I don't like the bars that hook the Chariot to the wolves. I think it looks a little strange. I'd probably replace that when I get it with some nice braided rope. I know that makes no sense, but thematically they're Vikings. I think that would look a lot better than these weird metallic harnesses. Like, how could they really be able to move with those hooked to them? The other thing I don't like is the wings on it and the little turbojets. I know that it's supposed to be a hover chariot, but it just works a lot better in my head as an actual sleigh in the snow. I know that's crazy, but I don't have it zoomed in, but if you zoom in, the actual designs on the side of it are remarkable. There's a lot of really good iconography on there and some really good Viking type stuff. And I think that looks great. I like the shields along the top. That looks great. And then Logan himself is phenomenal. So detailed. His hair and beard are blowing in the breeze as he's being led to war. He's got his axe of Morkai held high. His armor looks incredible. He's got a Stormbolter mounted on his wrist. He really, really looks good. He's a good looking model. It's just the chariot has been mocked mercilessly for years. People make fun of it as Santa's sleigh. I've seen awesome conversions where instead of the wolves, they take the deer from the wood elf range and have a bunch of deer on there. And, you know, the one in the front has a red nose and it's Santa. Har, har, har. You know, that's fine. But I actually think he looks amazing. And a lot of the chariot actually works for me. I think it looks good. I just don't like the little wings. And I don't like the stiff metal poles that are hooked to the wolves. So yeah, I'd probably just assemble mine without the wings, as weird as that sounds, and without the little turbo boosts on the back. And maybe change the metal bars to some ropes or chains that I have in my bits box. And then I'm definitely going to slap a couple magnets under each boot, magnetize them to the chariot, and then make a nice base with magnets on that and magnetize them to the base. So I could still run them on foot if I wanted to. I don't know how often that would really happen because I'm only saving 25 points. I lose 2 points of toughness. I lose advance and charge. I lose 10-inch movement. I lose wounds 14. I lose the cavalry keyword. I lose the vehicle keyword. I think there are way better people on foot, Ragnar being the main one, Arjak being the main one. If you're going to run heroes on foot, it should be one of those. If you want a unique, fast vehicle, cavalry, chariot, cruise missile, you bring them on this. I cannot wait. I'm going to get that nice half red, half gray color scheme in there, and I'm going to run them up a flank and have a great time with it. Let me know, guys. I always miss some things. You guys are really great about commenting at the end. Certain things I may have missed, stratagems that would work well that I just didn't even think about. There's just lots of fun ways to use this guy because he has that cavalry keyword and vehicle keyword. It's been a while since I posted one of these. Like I said at the beginning, it's because I was waiting for the new codex or supplement. But now that it's out, I'm going to start churning these out again. I'll make sure to get them on the board soon since the new supplement just dropped. This is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Thank you, Sons of Russ, for watching again, listening again. If you enjoy these type of videos or a chilled, relaxed atmosphere battle report, please hit the like button. It helps our algorithm and helps YouTube show this to more people. And that helps us immensely. Until next time, brothers, raise your horn high and drink your mead and toast to the great King, Logan Grimnar.